Over 2,000 of the world's best Olympic sailors will travel around the globe, from Melbourne, Australia, to Miami, USA, Palma de Mallorca, Spain, Hyères, France, Medemblik, the Netherlands, Kiel, Germany, and Weymouth, Great Britain, to determine the champions of the ISAF Sailing World Cup. It's day number 4 here at the Rolex Miami OCR, the second stop on this global tour of Olympic class racing. For many countries, this event will serve as their Olympic team qualifier. But for the already determined U.S. sailing team Alpha Graphics, the OCR provides valuable training against the world's best Olympic sailors in preparation for the 2012 Olympic Games.
I'm Dean Brenner, Chairman and Team Leader for the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Sailing Program. Everything prior to Perth was leading up to the conclusion of our trials, and now we're through that, and everybody here in Miami is now beginning their final 6-month plan, if you will, to be physically and mentally ready for the games later this year. In the laser radial, Paige Raley making her first Olympics, a highly decorated woman in the sport of sailing, and her record speaks for itself. I mean, Paige is on the podium almost every time she sails. We feel really good about Paige. In the laser class, we've got Rob Crane representing us, and Rob did a fantastic job winning the trials, and now we're putting together a plan for the rest of the year, and we'll see how that plays out with Rob. He's working really hard, I know that. In the 49er, Eric Stork and Trevor Moore, boy, they announced their presence with authority in Perth, and up until a breakdown in the medal race, they were looking like they were going to be 4th or 5th at the Worlds. They have been on a slow but steady progress upward for the last several years, but they're doing a great job, and they're in the top group now for sure.
It's easy to see why the OCR takes place here on Biscayne Bay, with room for over 5 courses and 350 boats, and predictably perfect sailing conditions again today as we go back on the water. The RSX windsurfers are easily some of the fastest classes in this regatta. They'll be planing in these conditions all the way around the course, and here's the start for the women. RSX men's division is next. Half of the group on starboard will face half of the group on port. Here's the gun.
My name is Bob Willis. I sail the RSX windsurfer, and I'm from Chicago, Illinois. And I've already qualified for the Olympics. I started off kind of having a rough day with 2 OCSs, so now it'd be great to put in some good races for the next 2 days and break the top 5.
Dimitra Vega de Lille from Mexico. She's got the yellow jersey on, leading her division and this race.
This event will not give any slots for the Olympic Games, but it's very good for me for the training, so I'm very happy to be here, and I hope to qualify in Spain in the World Championship.
Our Olympic representative from USA, it's Farah Hall, close behind in second. Maria Allen Mollestad from Norway, 3rd place. That's 1, 2, 3 around the top mark. Farah Hall has done it. She's passed the leader to take victory here in the first race today. A beautiful job. Upwind for the second time, it's Nick Dempsey still in charge of the RSX men.
Everything's going pretty well. Qualified fit for the Olympic Games, and really I'm here for as a training regatta, really trying to make the most of the light winds. Any wind condition's good for us, but I think specifically for myself, training in the light winds is kind of a key area, and Miami is traditionally quite light, so that's why we're here.
And now the fleet heads downwind to the finish. Into the finish, it's Dempsey with a final jibe. That's the way to win a race. We move from the windsurfers to the start of the laser men's division, where Canada's David Wright currently leads Olympic gold medalist Paul Goodison by only 1 point. And they're off.
So far, the conditions for Miami have been really great, and as most people know, this is Canada's Olympic selection trial, so a very important regatta for us.
To windward of this group, Canada's Chris Dodd is in 3rd place with the red jersey. We're approaching the top mark. Italy leads from the right-hand side, but he finds Jester Stalin from Sweden. It's tied here at the top mark as both boats bear away. Italy looks as though he'll plane over the top. Here's yellow shirt David Wright rounding in a top 6 position. Very strong. Lucky for the top of the group, it is much more crowded at the mark behind them. The Netherlands, China, and Belgium currently round out the top 3 in the laser radial women's next to start. All clear. The second upwind leg approaching the top mark for the men. It's Brazil's Bruno Fontes from the left-hand side, looking solid, great form, and he's got a good cushion on the rest of the fleet. David Wright is still ahead of Goodison, but he's going to have his work cut out for him if he wants to win this race. He's back in about 12th as he weaves through a bunch of boats, tacking just at the mark. Meanwhile, back in the radials, we are all the way to the left-hand side with the leftmost boat, and it is a left-hand shift that has the entire fleet on port tack. Back at the leeward mark with the men's division, and Fontes has increased his lead as he heads for the finish. And with that, he takes the race. It's a big lead for China's Li Jiazhu as the radials head downwind. Two laps later, and it is still Li Jiazhu from China extended her lead into this, the final turning mark of the race, as she jives and heads for home. And with that, she takes the race. And finally, we move over to the high performance 49ers for some exciting double wire action. They're on the line, and they're off. The fleet splits, half to the right, the other half to the left. It was a tough start of the race for U.S. Sailing Team Alpha Graphics members Eric Stork and Trevor Moore over early as they worked their way back through the fleet. That leaves current regatta leaders from Austria, Nico de la Carth and Nicolas Resch, free to lead this race as well. The rest of the fleet piles up on the starboard tack lay line. The boats plane downwind, trying to catch up to the Austrians, who have opened up a lead of about 30 seconds. That's impressive in a fleet like this. Nice move to the inside. Not everyone has such a great rounding. It looks like we could have a collision. Oh, Jesse Kirkland from Bermuda gets nailed from behind and falls into the boat. That hurts. He struggles to get back up and get going again as the other boats from behind try to avoid them. It's de la Carth and Resch still unstoppable on a full plane as they head downwind for the last time. And with that, the Austrians take another victory. Well, Biscayne Bay delivered fantastic conditions for all the racing courses, and tomorrow is an important day for every Olympic class. For the Paralympic divisions, the regatta will be decided. And for the Olympic classes, tomorrow will determine who will move on to the top 10 medal round race on Saturday. For now, I'm Tucker Thompson. We'll see you tomorrow.